That's a very specific illicit desire to want underage people.
Well,
how do you even find out that someone's into that?
You sugarcoat it when you say underage people. No. Let's just say how it is. It's underage girls, underage children and kids. So here we have Joe Rogan's Epstein meltdown. It's hard to watch. We will be seeing Joe Rogan talk about the Epstein files, which he has a lot of friends that are part of the Epstein files. And, you know, usually when you're friends with somebody who's maybe a pedo, or you may be friends with somebody who's doing something wrong, but just because, you know, you're buddy with somebody, you don't want to criticize them as much as you would criticize somebody that isn't your friend. But let's go get straight into the video. Let's see what's going on.
That's a very specific illicit desire to want underage people.
Well,
how do you even find out that someone's into that?
Well, I don't think that the majority or anything close to it of the women were technically. I think it was largely
young,
very young, barely legal, so to speak. But
there's some 9-year-olds in there.
Yeah, there's even younger.
All right, I'll move to you guys. Hold on.
I'll go to chat after this.
Hey, she was 14, guys. Can you get the right?
Oh no, this is just one example.
Dude, there's
just one.
So many.
Yeah.
Brian, dude, come on, she was 14. What is your take today? What the is going on? Woody Allen, and now you're defending Epstein?
Woody Allen's a very different story. Woody Allen's totally different.
It's weird you're dating your stepdaughter.
It's still legal.
You can very easily see someone getting involved in that just because girls juice deals. And Jeffrey Epstein, for the past 3 years of their lives has been the best weekend they've ever had. Has made them feel alive again. It's because it's juiced by the girls, the parties, the lifestyle that Epstein allows you to have access to.
But in the public eye, the narrative is underage girls.
So if we found out that somebody we knew was
let's be careful,
16-year-olds.
Let's be careful. What? Oh, okay, I didn't know where you were going with this. I didn't.
No,
I'm about to leave, dude. I can't be part of this.
When Brendan Schaub is offering the most sensible takes in the room, then you know something's wrong. Ever since the latest Epstein files dropped last week, the usual suspects are playing D for the worst people. And it's no secret that Joe Rogan is compromised. He's been running cover for the elites for a couple of years now. Once Rogan's wealth and influence got their attention, he decided that having calls with the president and dinners with billionaires was worth more to him than being honest with his own audience. Joe sold out for access. He just wanted a seat at the table. And for us, that means we have to listen to him sit in his studio and say things like underage people and, in the public eye, the narrative is underage girls. And he does it all with a straight face. But it's not just...
See, but that's the thing, though. Like you sugarcoat it when you say underage people. Like, you sit here and say, like, yeah, they was underage, but they was technically underage people. No. Let's just say how it is underage girls. Underage, let's just take underage out. Children and kids. Because when you put underage people, you some people might be like, 16, 17, around that way. 16, 17, 15, 14 at the max. But no, Epstein had pictures of a child. Literally, a child. Child looked like it was about 9, really from maybe 6 to 10 years old. A picture of a child with her panties down. Nobody in their right mind would sit here and say, that's underage people. No. That's a child. That's children. That's kids. That's somebody who's underdeveloped. That no grown man should sit here and have a picture of. If that's not disgusting to call it children, then I don't know what it is. Like I said, I understand that you're friends with these people, but when it comes down to, calling out a pedophile, if my friend is a pedophile and I know that, like, he's in a file, I cannot cut you any slack because at that point, no longer I want to be friends with you.
Rogan that sold out. We all saw what happened last year when some of the biggest comedians in the world bent the knee to the Saudi government and became mouthpieces for the regime. And if that wasn't bad enough, then we had to listen to them come back to America, lecturing us about how morally bankrupt and racist we are for criticizing them for cozying up to a regime who maintains power by suppressing its own people and their free speech. Bill Burr still hasn't recovered from the backlash, and I honestly don't think he ever will. And when you stop and take a step back to take it all in, you realize how far we've come from the days when comedians and podcasters were an alternative to the mainstream media. They were the ones who we trusted to speak their minds and say what everyone was thinking without the network breathing down their necks and censoring them. Fast forward to 2026 and Brendan Schaub seems to be the only one making any sense.
Why are so many people in Hollywood and in powerful positions so into f***ing kids? What's the wrong with them? That's what I don't understand.
I have no idea. Is it a...
Do you know any, think about people you know. Do you know anyone who's like, dude, I don't know what it is. These kids.
No.
I like to
I would
Never.
beat the
In your entire life, have you ever met someone who's into f***ing kids?
But I'd like to believe it's very rare still. I'd like to believe.
I don't think so at that elite level. There's too much. Look at all
But
these
you also
young
see...
kids.
That's right, things have gotten so bad now that the guy with CTE and a face full of zins is the only one asking the right questions. I mean, Joe Rogan used to have a show literally called Joe Rogan Questions Everything, which only lasted 6 episodes. Now, more than 10 years later, we have the infamous line from the Kash Patel podcast, "What am I going to do, push back?" It's not just that, though. He also uses the excuse, "I'm just asking questions." That way, the internet can make up their own mind. But he's not even doing that anymore. Joe barely even scratches the surface. Seriously, check out this pathetic attempt from Rogan to discuss the Epstein files. This is the #1 podcaster in the world who gets paid hundreds of millions of dollars every single year to interview interesting and informed guests. And his hot take on Epstein is, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's just crazy that statutory rape is what took it all down, right? Because it's underage jobs, right? That's what took it all down.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be what took Jeffrey Epstein down.
Kind of crazy.
Even that has a really interesting geopolitical history. There was a similar scandal in the early 2000s with a private military contractor called DynCorp. They got in trouble basically trafficking underage kids to Middle Eastern sheikhs. And I believe the reason that was alleged by Congress that they did that was to juice the deals with them. Need the support of the local high-level officials. They need to be happy. And there's several currencies for that. There's financial payoffs, and there's other things they might like parties and young women. Especially in places where being with the very young female is not illegal. And so I would not be surprised if the Epstein trafficking apparatus started with similar motivations. That it's not necessarily for blackmail, but because it makes clients or customers or VIP people happy. If you're a 70-year-old billionaire, you can't walk into a bar and leave aside the underage thing. You can't walk into a bar, and meet an 18-year-old who's I'm presuming.
Come on, man.
These things are facilitated at private parties, and it needs to, for a lot of these guys, it has to be discreet. They've got wives, they've got reputations. I worked at a New York law firm, and there's ways that you can make partner. At least this was kind of the vibe that I felt like. Some people make partner because they're really good technically at what they do. There's some people who make partner because they know they brought in one client who's just a really big rainmaker. And there's some people who move up because they open doors to partners while they're associates. They introduce them to someone, and the partners just like being around that person because they get access to that person in a currency that they can't get on their own. And that includes hosting, cool, exotic parties, having, attractive women.
Okay, so when you look through the files or you look at videos on this, Epstein, he had women, but these wasn't like from the stuff that I seen. I could be wrong. It could be other women, but the women that he had, it wasn't like he was just finding women like a college girl or stuff like that. He was finding particular women. He would find one woman that's like models and like sort of like traffic them or put them on with clients that he had. And you know, like, I got this model here. She's Brazilian. She's from this and there, different countries and stuff like that. You know, I wanna put people together. Something like a matchmaker, but he was also doing it for children also. So he would find children, and sometimes he would traffic these girls, because if you hear the story on how he was doing it, basically, you know, he was just getting hand jobs and stuff like that from, it progressed from really massages to hand jobs to actual having, you know, actual sex with these people. I mean, not people, but having sex with these underage girls. This is how these men, like, literally would groom a girl that's like 16, 14, 15, 17. Like, this is how you groom them into like having sex with them. But we can't sit here and minimalize like what was going on. We can't sit here and really like change terms. I understand if you really use the wrong word or whatever, stuff like that, but we really can't sit here and minimalize what they did. Like, these are certified, known, or used to be unknown, now known pedophiles, and the government is doing nothing about it. And then the other thing is too, is like, okay, you saying like, I can understand like this. If Jeffrey Epstein was running like some fake money printing business, and like it was like low key and he was getting rich off of it and stuff like that, and then what ended up bringing him down was really just him being a pedophile, then yeah, I can see that. Like, damn, like, it's crazy. Like, he was unknown. He was like really, really a criminal. And then him being a criminal was the thing that brought him down, was him being a pedophile. Like, damn, out of everything that could have brought down this criminal, this bank robber, this person who run fake cars and steal your information off online and all this type of stuff. Like, damn, what brought him down was being a pedophile? Damn, that's crazy. But just what brought him down, for the main thing that brought him down, that wasn't bank robbing, killing, murder, you know, fake credit cards or whatever stuff like that, what brought him down was him being mainly just a pedophile. Like, it's not a damn, that's a crazy moment. That's crazy that you only saying that's crazy.
This guy says juice and deals in the same sentence, I physically cringe. The mental gymnastics from Mike Benz to distract from what's really going on is crazy. We're in the middle of one of the biggest political cover-ups in history, with millions of documents detailing some of the most heinous crimes imaginable, and Rogan invites a former State Department hack on the show to lay it all out for us. This guy's sitting there saying shit like cool exotic parties with attractive women who are used as a currency to keep them happy so they can juice the deals. And Slow Joe's sitting there squinting his eyes while nodding his oversight.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and get mad at old dude. I mean, I understand that it do feel like he's minimalizing it and he's just kind of like softening the blow. But considering like, this seemed like this is how he talk. This seemed like this is how he interact with people. So I won't sit here and blame him for that. But I will blame him if he starts saying like, you know what, I can't really blame like a 70-year-old man that can't get an 18-year-old and he just want to get Jeffrey Epstein to find him. Then hell yeah, I'll blame his ass. But like, if he's sitting here and explaining how this is how this is happening, you can't really get mad at him for that. Like, and then he talks he talks a little bit better than Elon Musk. But him and Elon Musk talk the same a little bit. He just like maybe 20% better in talking than Elon Musk, but it's very similar though.
Shiny head. Could this seriously get any worse? The guy who built an empire off the back of being this free-thinking spirit who is beholden to nobody is now clearly afraid to ask any questions that could implicate his billionaire buddies. Just take a look at how he decides to wrap up the episode with Greg Fitzsimmons as soon as Jamie pulls up an article about Peter Thiel's Palantir.
Palantir app ICE uses to find neighborhoods to raid. Yeah, so it is Palantir, at least for that.
Yeah, the article he had, it was blocked by a paywall. I was trying to get around.
Nuts.
Joe Rogan experience, can't afford to pay for. Is this it? We're wrapping it up?
Let's wrap this bitch up.
No.
It's 4 o'clock.
Can I name some dates?
Fuck yeah.
If it was just a one-off, then I wouldn't have noticed. But after that episode with Theo Von, where Rogan was gaslighting Theo and trying to convince him that he was overthinking things, while Theo was clearly having an existential crisis and clearly calling out for help, all of this is suspicious. Whenever someone brings up Palantir or Peter Thiel, Joe will quickly change the subject or move things along. It's now clearer than ever whose side he's on. And that extends to the Epstein files. If you thought the mental gymnastics in that previous clip was bad, wait until you see these clowns trying to convince themselves that trafficking is just part of doing business as long as it's not kids.
That's a very specific illicit desire to want underage people.
Well,
how do you even find out that someone's into that?
Well, I don't think that the majority or anything close to it of the women were, barely legal, so to speak. But and I know that there were cases of underage, but I think
most of it was just
very, very young, but not like
20-year-old
not
girls,
like 13
18-year-old girls.
Type thing. Many of the clients are in countries that don't necessarily have the same norms
I'm
about.
I'm gonna say this, man. One is too many. One is too many. And like I said, me personally, I don't think any 18, 19, 20-year-old should be a part of this stuff. I know some people might sit here and disagree and be like, oh, it's the law, whatever. But it's the same way with OnlyFans. It's the same way women selling content, selling this and that and that. I think all of this stuff, women shouldn't be a part of that until they're 21 years old. It's like, damn, you ain't even have a chance at life yet. See, my only problem is you having a chance at life. I don't give a fuck what you do after 21. But this is how you get sex trafficked. This is how you meet creeps on the internet. This is how people offer you $5,000 to go do something crazy to make a crazy ass video. Like, to make a crazy ass video, and then they expose your ass in Telegram chats, Signal, Reddit. What else you got? X, Snapchat. Then they end up blackmailing your ass and all that type of crazy shit because of the video you made, or whatever. Or either you start meeting these 70-year-old perverts that be on some weird shit with you and stuff like that. Like, I feel like anybody that's 18, male or female, you too young to be doing shit like this. Like, the reason why I say that because I'm 27 right now. Like, if I was doing that when I was 18, and I don't do that now, but if I was doing that when I was 18 and I'm 21 and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that shit, my shit is already on the internet. I done already experienced enough trauma to where, like, when I want to get into a relationship with somebody, I done experienced too much trauma. And I'm for, like, people to be healed. I don't know. That's just me. I'd rather for people to be mentally healed. That's just how I am, But if y'all like this video right here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go check out this video right here, Joe Rogan's Epstein meltdown. It's hard to watch. Make sure you check out my latest video, and I'm out. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you go check out my Twitch, and also watch my recent video, which will be right here. And make sure you hit the subscribe button right here. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.